Hey there, friends. Tired of managing symptoms and struggling for answers? This holistic podcast guides you beyond one-size-fits-all advice to uncover root cause health solutions. I'm Holly Jean Mullen, your functional nutritional therapist host. Drawing from over a decade of clinical and personal experience, I'm here to help you overcome chronic issues like thyroid problems, autoimmune conditions, hormone imbalances, inflammation, weight loss resistance, the list goes on. This isn't generic advice. It's a comprehensive, personalized plan covering nutrition, mindset, and environment. Tune in for practical education, expert guests, real stories, and coaching to help identify what's keeping you stuck. It's time to understand your unique needs and tap into your God-given ability to heal by honoring nature's wisdom. Your transformation starts here. Let's go. Hello, welcome back to today's episode of Real Health Transformations Podcast. Today, this is going to be a short episode. I'm keeping it simple, practical, totally achievable, because if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the endless list of things you could do to feel better, I just want to tell you that healing doesn't have to feel like climbing Mount Everest. We don't have to be tackling everything on day one. But we want to talk about, or what I want to talk about today actually, is looking at the low-hanging fruit, the small, simple steps that you can take right now that are going to deliver big results. Now, I'm talking about the things that are the easiest wins, the changes that aren't just doable, but they're things that can make you feel like a rock star when you start to see results. And whether that's tweaking your bedtime routine, making friends with your water bottle, or hey, breaking up with your phone. Doom scrolling is real, These are just some steps that can help you build momentum when you're trying to make changes without adding in the stress, because healing isn't about perfection. It's about making steps towards progress. So if you want to grab your cup of tea, join me in my cup of tea. Let's just take a deep breath. And I want to talk about this subject. And hopefully at the end of this, you're going to be thinking, why didn't I think of this sooner? Or why didn't I start this sooner? So let's go. And what prompted this, what inspired this topic today is I had been so sick all last week. I was just in this bout of illness that left me completely drained. Today is actually my first day where I feel like me again. And normally when I get sick or I'm under the weather, I have an arsenal of supplements. I have tools, I have treatments to lean on. And one of the things I'm always talking about is being prepared to treat illness in your home and having your home be a source of empowerment so you're not having to rely on outside people or outside sources for your treatments. But we should be able to have our own stockpile of things here, right? I truly believe that. But this time I got sick and I didn't do anything. I just couldn't. The thought of doing anything was overwhelming. Yes, I could have got up and done ozone. Yes, I could have taken one of a million supplements I have on my shelf or vitamins or anything. I could have done anything. I did nothing. All I could do was sleep. I was so tired, and just the thought of doing something was overwhelming and exhausting to me. But now looking back, maybe sleep was the best thing that I could have done. So this experience, it really just got me thinking about those people who are struggling with their health and are just starting, maybe wanting to make changes. We are in the new year. This is when a lot of people are looking to change things. And I know my last episode was about how we don't have to change things in the new year. And, just because we don't have to doesn't mean people don't. This is also still a time when people like to implement changes. But sometimes it's hard to just get started. So I was thinking about people who are just starting, sometimes that path to feeling better can feel daunting, especially when we're hearing advice from all directions about what we should be doing, right? We hear, oh, you should eat this, not that. You should take these supplements. You should work out. You should meditate. You should detox. You should do all the things. But when you're exhausted, when you're in pain, when you're overwhelmed, or when your nervous system is stuck in flight or fight, all of those shoulds, they're only just piling on more stress. They create barriers to entry. I'm talking about perfectionism, cost, lack of support or resources, low energy, even just the mental fog that keeps you from knowing where to start. So, the solution is finding that lowest hanging fruit. It is the easiest win. And I do this with clients all the time, right? They're telling me all their symptoms, all the things, and I might have 20 different solutions for them, but I'm going to always start with the easiest win, the lowest hanging fruit. And that is something that is the simplest, most accessible step that you can take right now towards feeling better. And it's not about doing everything, it's about doing something. Sometimes it's as basic as letting yourself rest without guilt. And that's what it was for me. It was just, I am going to take this week and rest. And that's what my body needs. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to let go of all these, I should do this, I should do that, I should do this. I rested. But other times, it could be drinking a glass of water. It could be stepping outside for fresh air or eating a nourishing meal, like, or just replacing one meal. Instead of replacing your whole entire diet, changing your whole entire eating habits and patterns, start with one meal. Your easiest win might look different from mine or from your best friends or from your husband's, but the key is to just start. And we start with something small and we build momentum from there. Last year, when I was starting my weight loss, um, I signed up with a trainer and I had a really hard time first even doing the workouts she would send me because I didn't want to. Like, I knew I needed to. I didn't want to. I knew I should be working out. I just wasn't there yet. And so my dear friend, love her to death, Dana, her advice to me was just start with going out to your gym. Get dressed in the morning and go out to your gym. Whether you do your workout or not, that is not the point. The point is you're just showing up. You're developing the habit, you're getting dressed and you're showing up. And lo and behold, a lot of times I did end up doing a workout. It might not have been exactly what my trainer wanted me to do or the full version of it. Sometimes I would just sit out there and listen to worship music and stretch. Sometimes I would just go out there and walk. Sometimes I would go out there and not do anything except just sit there. Well, normally I did something. If I was sitting there, I was stretching. I wasn't just sitting there. But the point is, I started with one thing. If I couldn't do the workout, I could show up. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about finding a lowest hanging fruit. We're starting one small step that's going to build momentum. Now, let's talk about overcoming barriers to entry because when you're feeling stuck, barriers can feel insurmountable. So we want to break them down. The first thing is perfectionism. This is one where I see people get stuck so often doing nothing because they're stuck in this idea of perfectionism that if they can't do it perfectly or what they have in their mind as being perfect, like, oh, I want to be eating this fully organic diet, but I don't have it right now or I can't afford it right now, and so I'm not going to do any of it. So it's this perfectionism, this idea of perfection that holds people back. So let go of doing things perfectly. We'll take imperfect action. We're going to start with one thing. Overwhelm is another one. And um, we really just need to simplify. Don't focus on that entire mountain that you have ahead of you. Just take that one first step. Cost and resources, these are a barrier. Not every solution requires an expensive supplement, doesn't require any gadgets or tools. Some of the best steps are free. Rest, water, movement. It doesn't have to cost a lot. And so I see that as an excuse of, well, I can't afford to buy all these things. You don't need all the things. I promise you, you do not need all the things. Last year, yes, I hired a trainer. That was for my motivation and accountability. But the things that I did, fasting, keto, resting, sinking sunlight, like getting my circadian health in alignment, those are all free. Very, very free. Anyone can do them. Another barrier is energy and pain. Now, this is a big one because when your energy is low, when you can choose something that doesn't demand much from you, you're going to get a win there. So, even a short walk, a nap, just doing deep breathing or sitting in the sun can help. Um, I'm going to come back to energy and pain in a minute. But the other thing is just lack of motivation and support. So just remembering that you're not alone and starting with something manageable can make the process seem less intimidating. We do have control over things, and we don't have to draw our motivation from outside sources, mainly people. So these easy wins, these are what help us get started. So some examples that can really make a difference are prioritizing rest, as I mentioned. So letting go of that guilt about what you should be doing. Eating a nourishing breakfast instead of overhauling your entire diet. If you just start with a nourishing breakfast instead of skipping it or grabbing junk food on the way to work or something, that is a great start. Drinking water consistently throughout the day. There are so many ailments that we feel and face that can be solved with just being properly hydrated. So if you don't know where to start, drinking water is a great first place to start, especially if you're not someone who drinks a lot of water normally. And it doesn't have to be a ton. You don't have to drink gallons of water a day. Start with 1 glass in the morning when you wake up, first thing. Start there. Um, it could be saying no to dessert or cutting back on sugar. And that could be like instead of drinking 3 sodas a day, drink one. Going outside, getting fresh air, getting dressed for a workout, even if you're not sure you're going to do the full workout. Like I mentioned, that's a great first step if it's what you can do. Taking a walk, even if it's just around the block. Like if you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I should walk 10,000 steps a day." Great. Start with one walk around the block. You don't have to go from 0 to 10,000. This is LifeWave patches. This is one thing that I love the most about them is that they are a very easy win for someone when they can't do something or when they're too overwhelmed to do something. Putting on a patch is something that's very simple, very doable, and it's working with your body to reset your organs, your systems, to boost stem cells. It's working for you, and you don't have to do anything except literally put a sticker on your body. I love patches as a low-hanging fruit win for a lot of people. Um, the idea isn't to just overhaul your entire life or your entire lifestyle overnight. It's just about finding one thing that feels doable for you today and then building from there. We can't always do everything. So when you can't do everything, just do something. And when life feels overwhelming, it's tempting to not do anything at all because we get stuck in that freeze. Especially when we're stressed or overwhelmed with what to do, we say fight or flight, but we also have freeze. when we get stressed or overwhelmed, we can just kind of freeze and do nothing. That is really what it was like for me this week when I wasn't feeling well, and my action was resting. Like, that was the one thing that I could do, and it wasn't flashy, it wasn't complicated, it was exactly what my body needed. And so for you, like I said, it might be a glass of water, it might be a short prayer, or it might just be putting on your shoes to go outside. So whatever it is, let's just take a moment and honor that step today. Let's celebrate it and let it be enough for today. Just let it be enough. And I will wrap up this short episode, like I said, but I'm going to just leave you with this simple blessing. And that is, may you find joy in these small steps and celebrate those simple victories that you have on your journey. Because these low-hanging fruits, they are there for the win. And I pray that these low-hanging fruits bring you peace, they bring you momentum, they remind you that even tiny shifts can create big change. So that is my episode for today. So I will be back next week with a full episode. Until then, be well, be blessed, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Real Health Transformations. I appreciate you joining me. If you found value in what we covered today, I'd be grateful if you could leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. It really helps spread the word and just helps me get the show out to more people and lets more people find us. And if you'd like to submit a question for me to answer on a coaching episode or to apply to be a live guest on a coaching episode, check out the show notes on how to contact me for that. The show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. As always, please consult your trusted doctor or medical professional before making health and lifestyle changes. I'll catch you next time on Real Health Transformations.